Food expenses for households in the lowest 20% income bracket rose nearly 40% over the past 5 years, as soaring food inflation placed a heavier financial burden on low-income individuals.
먹거리 물가 상승세로 인한 서민층의 재정 부담이 가중되면서 국내 소득 하위 20% 가구의 식비 지출이 5년 새 40% 가까이 늘어난 것으로 나타났습니다.
Yeah, so basically food prices are going up. And we're comparing numbers from 2019 to 2024. And the average household in Korea spent about 841,000 won last year per month. But if you look at the bottom 20% income bracket, they spent about 434,000 won, last year. And that's up about 39% compared to the upper income bracket, which rose just 27% relative to their income, of course.
So the percentage is what matters, really.
Yes.
Because out of your income, how much or what proportion of money are you spending on money? And it looks like people in the lower income bracket are spending more, a bigger share of their pie, if you will, of their income on food than the people with bigger incomes.
Exactly, and it makes sense. Common sense would say that, humans can only eat so much.
Yeah.
So food expenses are a staple. These are fixed expenses usually for a household. And if prices are going up, that means you're not making as much. That means the proportion of your expenses spent on food is probably higher than for people making more money or in a higher income bracket.
네, 그렇습니다. 전반적으로 봤을 때는 2019년 대비 2024년 작년에 우리가 소득에 비해서 음식에다가 얼마나 돈을 쓰느냐 그 퍼센티지가 평균치는 한 26%였는데 소득계층 이제 상위 계층 같은 경우에는 전체 소득의 한 27% 정도가 그런 음식에 들어갔다고 하고요. 하위 20% 계층은 아까 40%라고 했죠.
39% to be
네,
exact.
그러니까요. 거의 절반은 아니지만 거의 40% 정도나 소득의 아주 큰 부분을 식비에다가 쓰고 있다라는 것을 알 수 있습니다.
Right. So you could say the rate of increase is much quicker for those in the lower income bracket.
Yeah. Now, a bracket, when we come to grammar, punctuation, it's just the parenthesis, right? bracket라는 것은 우리 이제 글 쓸 때 괄호라는 뜻이잖아요.
It's the hard bracket. It's parentheses are the sort of the half circle.
Oh, okay.
The semicircle.
When you just say bracket, it's
Brackets
the,
are
the
these,
square ones?
Yes, the
hard...
half squares.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
근데 괄호, 뭐 이게 각진 괄호든 뭐 무엇이든 그것을 이제 bracket라고 하는데 물론 우리가 지금 이런 괄호 얘기를 하는 건 아닐 거예요. 그죠?
No.
뭐 괄호 닫고 괄호 열고 그런 괄호가 아니라 계층이라는 뜻이죠, 여기서는?
In a sense, they do come from the same sort of meaning. Here, bracket means classification or sort of a category, right? We can talk about income brackets. We can talk about age brackets.
Yep.
But an income bracket would be a group of people with incomes that fall within a certain range that are grouped together.
네, 네. 분야, 부류, 계층 이런 의미가 다 있을 수 있습니다. 그래서 income bracket라고 하면은 소득 계층이 되겠네요. Highest income bracket, lowest income bracket.
Yeah.
다 다양하게 표현을 하면 되겠고. And to place a burden.
Yeah, if a burden would be stress or hardship against someone. When you place a burden on someone, you're giving someone a difficult responsibility or a problem to deal with, perhaps.
The word that comes after burden is on.
On
so it's a
is
burden
the phrasal verb, yes.
On me, you, them. It's a burden. Place the burden on 누구누구. 그러면 누군가에게 짐을 지우다.
Right. Oftentimes you say you place a burden on someone's shoulders.
Yeah.
Or you lift a burden off your shoulders.
그렇습니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Food expenses for households in the lowest 20% income bracket rose nearly 40% over the past 5 years, as soaring food inflation placed a heavier financial burden on low-income individuals. Let's move on.
South Korea has become the third non-NATO country after Japan and Australia to join the NATO Science and Technology Organization, allowing it to participate in the organization's board on par with NATO members and engage in joint research and development.
우리나라가 북대서양조약기구, 나토 과학기술기구 파트너십에 가입했습니다. 이로써 일본과 호주에 이어 한국도 파트너국 지위를 획득해 앞으로 나토 회원국과 동일한 수준에서 공동 연구 및 개발에 참여할 수 있게 됩니다. And our listeners will have noticed that in Korean, when we say NATO, in English it is not NATO, it's NATO.
NATO.
Or NATO.
NATO, right. Natto could be that fermented bean that you eat
in Japan.
In Japan or in Korea
그러네요.
too, right?
네.
That's
발음이
natto,
좀
right?
다릅니다.
But,
맞아요.
yeah. But in English, you pronounce it with a long A.
That's
it's
right.
NATO. But this Science and Technology Organization is a group within NATO, of course, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's an alliance of Western countries mostly. But their main responsibility is dealing with defense, science, and technology. And the fact that Korea has now joined this body means that Korea can take part in many of the defense technologies that these European countries develop and further advance cooperation with NATO as a whole.
So Korea is now on par with other members.
Yeah, exactly. So to be on par with something means you're equal in importance or quality. You're on an equal level, right?
Yeah.
If you play golf, here's another sports or golf analogy. Par or shooting par is the standard. It's the standard score. So if you're on par with something, you're level or equal with it.
That's right. 비슷하다, 동등하다. 이제 on par with something입니다. 그래서 골프에서는 사실 어떻게 보면 기준점이 되는 거죠. under par일수록 좋은 건데 보통 우리가 일상 대화 속에서는 최근에 내가 먹었던 그 음식이 있는데 그 레스토랑의 그 음식이 네가 잘 알고 있는 그 다른 식당 있잖아. 거기랑 굉장히 비슷해. 이런 말을 할 때요. It's similar to 할 수도 있겠지만 The food I ate recently is really on par with 그러면서 다른 레스토랑 이름 이렇게 될 수도 있고.
Right.
사람도 마찬가지죠. This person's reading skills is really on par with
a native speaker or something,
그렇죠.
for example, right?
이렇게 해서 비슷한 수준이야. 이렇게 말을 해요. 여기서는 한국도 이제 다른 나토 회원국들과 비슷한 수준의 사실상 이제 동일한 수준의 그런 자격을 얻게 됐다.
Right.
이런 의미예요.
Yeah, another expression you can use is they have a seat at the table now to join in negotiations. So here, literally, possibly, and also figuratively, if you have a seat at the table, you have a voice.
Yes.
And you can express your opinions and also contribute.
Yep. And talking about contributing, you can engage in different conversations.
Exactly. So to engage in here would mean to take part in or to participate, to be involved in.
That's right.
Here we talked about R&D, research and development.
그래요. 무엇에 참여하는 것을 engage in something이라고 합니다. 근데 우리 engage라는 단어를 약혼식 할 때도 쓰죠. 그때는 이제 be engaged.
To be engaged, you have an engagement. Or if you engage someone, you're interacting with that person as well.
그래요. 누군가와 어떤 교류를 할 때도 engage with someone 이렇게 표현하고 그다음에 나는 지금 약혼한 상태다. I am engaged 이렇게 표현할 수 있고 그 약혼식은 engagement입니다.
Right. There's also a meaning of to employ or to hire someone.
Yeah.
If you engage a lawyer to help with your situation.
Right.
I think that's also a primary definition of engage. Engage has many meanings.
It does. 그러네요. 근데 여기서 말하는 주요 의미는 무엇에 참여한다라는 뜻입니다. E-N-G-A-G-E. Engage in something. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. South Korea has become the third non-NATO country after Japan and Australia to join the NATO Science and Technology Organization, allowing it to participate in the organization's board on par with NATO members and engage in joint research and development.
The Israeli government has approved an extension of the Gaza ceasefire, covering Ramadan and Passover, following the end of the first phase of the ceasefire on Saturday.
이스라엘 정부는 가자지구 휴전 1단계의 마지막 날이었던 지난 토요일부터 라마단 기간과 6월절까지 휴전을 연장하는 계획에 동의했습니다.
Yeah, so what's happening here is that this ceasefire that's in effect in this Israel-Gaza or Hamas war, the first phase of that ceasefire ended. Now, what is happening is that led by the U.S., sort of Donald Trump's envoy to the Middle East. They want a temporary extension of this first phase. But Hamas is saying that that's, first of all, they're going against what was agreed upon. And what Israel is doing is they're blocking humanitarian aid and supplies into Gaza if Hamas does not accept this new proposal for this extension of this first ceasefire. Hamas wants it to go on schedule into the second phase, which would involve more hostages being exchanged.
There are some issues to be ironed out, but nonetheless, it looks like the ceasefire will continue for now, as you said. It's an extension of the previous ceasefire.
Yeah, so if something is extended, here we're talking about a length of time, it's increasing or it's spreading or stretching out.
연장하는 것을 extending이라고 해서요. 기간이 될 수도 있고 what else can you extend? You can extend your hair.
Extensions. Yeah, exactly.
연장 이것도 extension이라고 하고 deadline도 말씀하셨고요.
Yes.
시간, 뭐 마감일 이런 것들도 다 연장을 할 수 있죠. Extending something. And Ramadan and Passover, these are very important days in this part of the world, right?
Yes, in their respective religions.
Right,
Ramadan, of course, is a Muslim sort of day. It's a holy month of worship. It's the 9th month in the Muslim calendar, and it's a joyous celebration in where a lot of Muslims, they fast from sunrise to sunset, usually over the course of about 7 or 8 days. And Passover is, of course, from Judaism. It's a holiday commemorating the Hebrews or the Israelites' liberation from slavery in Egypt. And it's also a very important day. It's to commemorate the quote-unquote passing over of the forces of destruction there. So very important days. And this is playing a part into when this ceasefire or how it will be enforced.
그렇죠. 어떻게 보면은 그 지역에서 이제 특정 종교의 어떤 명절이라고 볼 수 있는데요. 라마단 같은 경우에는 그 기간 중에 일출에서 일몰까지 금식을 하는 게 또 하나의 특징이기도 하고, 파스오버라고 하는 6월절은 이집트 탈출을 기념하는 유대인들의 축제라고 합니다. 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. The Israeli government has approved an extension of the Gaza ceasefire, covering Ramadan and Passover, following the end of the first phase of the ceasefire on Saturday. Let's move on.
Japan has started consultations to raise the tourist tax for departing travelers from 1,000 yen to 5,000 yen to fund initiatives addressing over-tourism.
일본이 과잉 관광 문제 해결을 위한 재원 마련을 목적으로 출국하는 여행객에 매기는 국제 관광 여객세를 1,000엔에서 5,000엔으로 인상하는 논의에 들어갔습니다.
Yeah, because a lot of countries, post-COVID, tourism has really surged, and a lot of countries are having to deal with over-tourism. And along the lines of other countries like Egypt and Australia, what Japan is considering, they're in the process of possibly increasing the tourist tax, quintupling it. Actually, rising it by 5 times from 1,000 yen to 5,000 yen. That's quite a big increase. This tax was first introduced back in 2019 because Japan is set to welcome a record number of 40 million tourists this year, surpassing the record set just last year.
Right, right. Over-tourism is an issue we've talked about with European countries as well. And it's, you have overcrowding, you have environmental issues, and just all sorts of different problems there.
Yeah.
So you want to restrict the number of people.
Yeah, now I'm not quite sure if this would act as a deterrent for people to possibly reconsider traveling to Japan, but the increase is quite expensive. 5,000 yen in Korean won is roughly 50,000 won. So that would mean that every time, that's an additional expense that you would have to pay, especially if you're a budget traveler or if you're on a sort of on these tight budgets, then this could be something that you may have to consider if you are considering going to Japan.
Yeah,
maybe come to Korea then. Yeah.
All right. If you've started or you're going through consultations, what are you doing?
Yeah, consultation is a sort of a formal way of saying a discussion or a conference. When you're talking about something, you can have a consultation. Let's say if you want to go have plastic surgery, you'll have a consultation. Or you can have a consultation with your tax advisor on how to sort of reduce your taxes, perhaps.
I might consult you on how to live life better, things like that.
Like a life advisor.
Yes, 맞아요. 우리가 상담을 받으러 갈 때도 컨설팅을 받는다라고 하죠. consultation이 그 명사 형태입니다. 스펠링 알려주시겠어요?
Yeah, consultation would be consultation.
네, 그런데 이게 상담의 의미뿐만 아니라 뉴스에서는 협의의 의미로도 쓸 수 있어요. 그래서 협상이나 협의, negotiation, discussions 이것도 다 비슷한 의미로 쓸 수 있습니다.
You also have consultative groups, right?
yeah.
In that case, it'd mean the same thing. It's a group that's organized to consult each other.
That's right. That would be the adjective. All right. What about an initiative?
An initiative is a plan or some sort of action or a drive. So Japan here has an initiative, or they want to fund these initiatives or plans to tackle or address over-tourism.
그렇죠. initiative라는 것은요, 어떤 계획 같은 겁니다. 그래서 plan의 또 다른 공식적인 느낌의 단어라고 볼 수도 있겠죠.
Right. A lot of civic groups can propose sort of these laws or initiatives to submit possibly to the National Assembly or
Right.
lawmakers to sort of get a change or an approval of some sort.
네. 이 발음은요, initiative, 4 syllables인데요. 가운데 들어가는 vowel은 굉장히 많아요. 모음이 몇 개인지 한번 스펠링 제가 읽어드릴 테니까 보세요. I-N-I-T-I-A-T-I-V-E. 모음이 굉장히 많죠.
I never thought of that. There's 6 vowels in there, including 4 I's.
그러니까요. 그렇지만 이제 발음할 땐 initiative 이렇게 발음을 합니다.
Right. You don't say initiative.
That's right.
Yeah.
자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Japan has started consultations to raise the tourist tax for departing travelers from 1,000 yen to 5,000 yen to fund initiatives addressing over-tourism. Now here's our final headline.
A woman in China has shocked the online community after eating hot pot from a luxury pure gold pot that weighs 1 kilogram and is worth 700,000 yuan, or more than 140 million won.
중국의 한 여성이 70만 위안 우리 돈으로 1억 4천만 원이 넘는 순금 1kg으로 만들어진 고급 냄비에 허거 요리를 먹는 모습을 공개해 온라인에서 화제가 됐습니다.
Yeah, so the woman at the center of this, she's actually a wholesaler of gold and jewelry in Shenzhen. And what she did was one of her customers requested to make this pot that's worth 140 million won made of pure gold, and to kind of show it off. And with this customer's permission, what she did was she went online and she ate hot pot, huoguo. Very popular sort of food.
Yeah.
It's like shabu shabu, right?
It is, yeah.
It's sort of in a Chinese way with that mara flavor a lot of times. But what she did was she did it, and I guess the response was quite shocking to many people that someone would kind of do this. But in any case, she did get the permission of the customer. And this isn't the first time she's gotten such a luxurious or extravagant sort of order, custom-made order. She's also made a half-kilogram golden durian as a gift before.
Oh.
So a lot of sort of requests, odd requests from customers. I guess if you pay, then they'll manufacture it.
Yeah.
I know gold is very significant in China. Sort of as a lucky charm as well.
That's maybe why so many people were surprised. Anything that goes viral can be described in several ways. In this case, we're saying it shocked the online community.
Yeah, it was shocking. It was surprising, right? It was astounding and stunning, you could say.
그러네요. Astounding, stunning 다 마찬가지로 shocking, 충격적이다, 깜짝 놀라게 하다 이런 뜻이겠죠. And the online community... basically people online, people using social media.
Yeah, it's a very broad term,
Yeah.
anyone that's using the internet. But usually in this case, when you're talking about a certain or specific type of online community, it's a group of people who share similar interests and use the internet to communicate. The word netizen is often used as well. Netizen is probably broader. It's just any person that uses the internet.
그렇죠. 그냥 네티즌이라고 생각하면 돼요. 온라인 커뮤니티 그러면 인터넷 상에서의 공동체. 하지만 실제로 우리가 이렇게 해석을 하지는 않고 그냥 소셜 미디어를 이용하는 사람들 네티즌들 이런 정도로만 해석을 해도 됩니다. And the interesting thing is you can say both online community is or the online community are.
Yeah.
They're both okay.
Yeah, I think it's when we get into the grammar of it, it's the collective noun, right?
That's right.
In England, you would say Manchester United are.
That's right.
But in North America, you would say Manchester United is.
그렇죠. 네, 이런 것처럼 같은 단어지만 영국과 미국에서 때로는 이거를 단수로 취급하거나 복수로 취급하는 게 달라질 때가 있어요.
Yeah.
대표적인 게 바로 이 축구팀입니다. 예를 들자면은 뭐 지금 맨체스터 유나이티드 얘기했어요. 뭐 아스널도 있고 리버풀도 있고 다 마찬가지로 영국에서는 그걸 보통은 복수로 취급을 해요. 그래서 Man U are 블라블라블라 이렇게.
Yeah.
근데 미국에서는 팀이니까 그냥 단수로 취급을 해서
It's one team.
그렇죠. 그래서 이제 문법적으로는 Man U is 이렇게 얘기를 하는데 이 온라인 커뮤니티도 둘 다 저는 봤거든요. 다 가능한 것 같아요.
Yeah, no, the Los Angeles Dodgers are. It would be in the plural form.
Because
I may
that's
have confused
Dodgers.
that. Dodgers, okay.
Because it's S.
Yes.
But when you have these British teams,
Yeah.
most of the time they're just one, they don't have the S at the end,
Yeah.
generally speaking.
I'm getting confused now, but
Yeah.
we may have mixed it up. But yeah.
근데 이제 Dodgers 같은 경우에는 팀 이름 자체가 복수 형태라서
That's right. Okay.
그래서 R라고 하는 것 같아요.
Yeah, no, I had to think about that because it's Manchester United is. Yeah.
맞아요.
That comes off naturally.
네, 그렇게 표현을 합니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. A woman in China has shocked the online community after eating hot pot from a luxury pure gold pot that weighs 1 kilogram and is worth 700,000 yuan or more than 140 million won. Well, that's it for the headlines with Shane.
3 out of 10 people who earned a doctoral degree last year were unemployed, according to Statistics Korea, with the highest unemployment rate among those with doctorates in the arts and humanities.
통계청 집계 결과 지난해 박사학위 취득자 10명 가운데 3명은 직업이 없는 것으로 조사된 가운데 이 중 예술 및 인문학 계열 박사학위 취득자의 무직 비율이 가장 높은 것으로 나타났습니다. So it's hard to get employed for anyone, even with PhDs or doctorate degrees.
Exactly. When I was a kid, a PhD or a doctorate degree was a guarantee, supposedly, of a job, of a well-paying job. But now we're looking at 29.6% of those who acquired doctoral degrees last year, that's 10,442 people, were unemployed. Talking about a huge amount. It's actually the largest percentage since we started recording data 11 years ago in 2014. And, well, being someone who graduated in the arts myself, not a doctorate though, I'm sad to say that the highest unemployment rate was among those who had degrees in arts and humanities at 40.1%. Next was natural sciences, mathematics and statistics at 37.7%, and then social sciences and journalism at 33.1%. And it's young people who seem to be more unemployed. 47.7% of those under 30 years old were unemployed.
네, 그렇습니다. 이렇게 고학력자의 실업률이 굉장히 높게 드러났습니다. 특히 말씀하신 대로 젊은 사람들, 청년층을 우리가 보고 있을 때 안 그래도 일자리를 구하기 힘든데 이렇게 열심히 공부를 해서 뭐 박사학위까지 얻었는데도 무직인 경우가 상당히 많은 것으로 드러났어요. You said earlier on that it was guaranteed or it was a guarantee that you would get a job if you had a doctorate in the past. 우리말로 하자면은 예전에는 박사학위가 있으면은 뭐 거의 일자리는 보장이 된 거나 마찬가지였어요. It was a guarantee. 그런데 지금은 아니죠.
No, I think we also used to think that a job was a job for life when I was a kid. That's also not guaranteed.
That's right. 지금도 it is not guaranteed. So let's have a look at the word degree here, and more specifically, we are of course talking about a doctorate or a doctoral degree. They're both the same thing.
Yes, I have a degree, but it's not the same as a doctoral degree or a PhD. I have just an ordinary degree from university. And degrees, normally we're talking about university or college.
An undergraduate degree.
Exactly, an undergraduate degree. So that's going to be a BA, a Bachelor of Arts, or a BSc, a Bachelor of Sciences. Then you can have a master's degree, which is the next step up, a graduate degree. And then we have the PhD, which is sort of the final step to becoming Professor Sue, if you ever wanted to.
Exactly. 자, 학위를 degree, D-E-G-R double E 이렇게 씁니다. 그래서 보통은 이제 학사학위 undergraduate degree라고 하고요.
Yeah.
그 외에는 이제 graduate diplomas or graduate degrees가 있는데 구체적으로는 석사학위는 보통 master's degree 그리고 박사학위는 doctorate degree or doctoral degree 다 가능합니다.
Yeah, or PhD, which is a diploma.
그렇죠. 그 PhD 말고도 이제 명칭은 좀 다른 박사학위들도 있기는
네.
합니다만 뭐 대표적으로 PhD가 바로 박사학위죠.
I would say also be careful with degree because it can have lots of different meanings. We'll talk about the temperature in degrees, or we'll talk
Sure.
about angles and the degree of the angle. But here we're referring to your diploma, what you get after graduation.
That's a good point. 네, 학위 말고도 degree는 뜻이 여러 개가 있습니다. 그 중에 이제 각도 얘기를 했고요. 그래서 비유적으로는 어느 정도라는 뜻으로도 쓰지만 여기서는 그렇게 쓰진 않고 있고 온도 할 때도 그렇죠? 몇 도씨, 몇 도, 그 셀시어스 이런 거 할 때도 영어로는 degrees를 쓰는데 자 여기서는 학위의 의미로 그냥 단수 형태 degree. What about unemployment rate?
Well, when we talk about any kind of rate, when dealing with the population or a country or a group, we're talking about the number of people within that are the thing. And here it's unemployment, so these are people without jobs. So it's the number of people without jobs at this point.
That's right. 실업률을 unemployment rate라고 합니다. 그리고 참고로 이 헤드라인 안에 보면은 두 번 박사학위가 언급이 되는데요. 표현이 조금 달라요. 하나는 doctoral degree, 또 하나는 그냥 doctorates 이렇게 표현을 하는데 같은 단어라고 보시면 되겠습니다. 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. 3 out of 10 people who earned a doctoral degree last year were unemployed, according to Statistics Korea, with the highest unemployment rate among those with doctorates in the arts and humanities. Let's move on.
The number of foreign nationals in Korea has surpassed 5% of the entire registered population, reaching an all-time high, according to the Ministry of Justice.
국내 체류 외국인 수가 우리나라 전체 인구의 5%를 넘어서면서 역대 최대치를 경신했다고 법무부가 발표했습니다.
Hello, it's me.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm one of these foreign nationals. There's a lot of us. With now, by the end of 2024, we've grown to over 2.65 million. Korea's total population is now down to 51.2 million.
Okay.
And that means we're surpassing that 5% mark. 5.17% is
Yes.
the percentage of us compared to the whole population. It's even bigger than before the pandemic because there was a big dip during the pandemic where lots of foreign nationals went back to their home countries. So pre-pandemic, it was at 2.52 million. Foreign nationals were now at 2.65. 77% of us, hello again, are long-term residents who have registered with the Korean Immigration Service. And the other 23% are those who are short-term visitors.
자, 전체 한국의 인구 중에서 5%가 이제 외국인이라는 거죠. 그게 이제 절대적인 숫자로 보면은 265만 명 정도 되는데 그 중에 한 분이 바로 우리 폴 선생님입니다. 265만 명의 외국인 중에 이제 장기 체류를 하고 있는 분들이 대부분이고요. 204만 명 정도. 그 다음에 그 외에 60만 명은 단기 체류를 하고 있다고 합니다. 자, 전체 중에서 5%다라고 했을 때 아까 5% of the entire population 했어요.
Yeah, the whole, the complete,
Yeah.
all of the population. When we use the word entire, it means all of it, 100%.
네, 그래요. 그래서 100% 전체 뭐뭐 ENTIRE and registered population.
Yeah, these are people who the government knows about,
Yep.
who are officially on the register, on the list. For example, we sometimes talk about, in Korea and elsewhere, undocumented citizens or
Yes.
undocumented immigrants. Those are people who are not registered. You know, the local immigration office or the local police station does not have an official record of them and they may well get deported. So yes, our registered population is everyone that we know about.
네, 그래요. 등록된 인구를 registered population이라고 합니다. 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. The number of foreign nationals in Korea has surpassed 5% of the entire registered population, reaching an all-time high, according to the Ministry of Justice.
Independent film Anora has triumphed at this year's Oscars, winning 5 awards, including Best Picture and Best Actress for lead star Mikey Madison, while Blackpink's Lisa made history as the first K-pop artist to perform at the prestigious event.
올해 아카데미 시상식에서 독립영화 아노라가 작품상과 주연 여우상 등 5개 부문을 휩쓴 가운데 그룹 블랙핑크의 리사는 시상식 축하 무대에 오른 첫 K-pop 가수라는 기록을 남겼습니다. So great news for that particular movie, but not just that. I mean, it was a great festival almost.
It was star-studded as usual. I have to say, there was a lot of talk online after it finished that the winners, the big winners here, are low budget, comparatively speaking. They're not the big Hollywood blockbusters. They're the lower budget, more independent movies. And that's fascinating to see them sweep the Oscars in this way. And certainly Anora taking home 5, Mikey Madison taking home the Best Actress. It was Adrian Brody, though, for The Brutalist, who took home Best Actor. He was also the youngest Best Actor winner back in 2003 for The Pianist. I think he was very glad to be back on the stage. Zoe Saldana got Best Supporting Actress for Emilia Perez. And then we had Kieran Culkin, who's probably most famous for Succession, getting his Best Supporting Actor for his new film with Jesse Eisenberg. It was a great night, as always. There's going to be a lot of arguments, I think, about who should have won or who shouldn't have won. Certainly the most nominated film was Emilia Perez, the Netflix crime musical. They've got 13 nominations, and that's the most that a film not in the English language has ever received. And I think here in Korea, all eyes were on the James Bond medley, the tribute to James Bond's producers who were handing the baton on to a different company. And we had Lisa from Blackpink performing, doing an excellent job with Paul McCartney and the Wings' Live and Let Die. It was a great night for those who love the Oscars. It was a long night for anyone, whether you love them or not. And, we'll have to wait a year for them to come around again.
네, 그렇습니다. 일단 작품상은 헤드라인에도 나왔듯이 Anora라는 이 독립영화가 받게 됐고요. 여우주연상에도 역시 Anora의 주인공 마이키 마디슨이 받게 됐습니다. 나무주연상은 The Brutalist의 Adrian Brody가 받게 됐는데 저도 이 영화 좀 한번 보고 싶긴 한데 4시간짜리 영화더라고요. 좀 길어서 중간에 인터미션이 있는 영화라고 들었습니다. 근데 상당히 연기가 좋았다. 그러니까 나무주연상을 받았겠죠. 자, 그리고 이제 여우조연상, 나무조연상은 Zoe Saldana 그리고 Kieran Culkin에게 돌아갔습니다.
Yeah, Kieran Culkin won for A Real Pain. That was the title of the movie that he's in. It's another one I'm looking forward to. Generally, every year the Oscars is a really good way to see some really good films. Just watch all the nominees.
맞아요. 저도 그 리사 공연도 좀 찾아봤는데 공연이 아니라 뭐라 그러죠? 그 무대. 근데 이제 사실 단독 무대는 아니었지만 이게 할리 베리가 먼저 나와서 제임스 본드 트리뷰트 멘트를 몇 개 좀 하고 그 다음에 이제 여러 명의 연주자들과 배우들이 나타나서 가수들도 있었고 이게 노래도 부르고 춤도 추고 이렇게 하는데요. 그 중에 한 부분을 담당했습니다. 너무 멋있더라고요.
Yeah, it looks amazing as always. But also, I'm a big fan of James Bond. I'm a big fan of James Bond themes as well. They're some of the best songs.
그렇습니다. 자, triumph, what's that?
It's a win, either as a noun or a verb. You can have a triumph or you can triumph at something or triumph over someone else. It means you are the winner. You were the one who succeeded.
그래요. 동사로 쓰는 triumph는 승리를 거두다. 명사 triumph는 그냥 승리가 되겠습니다. 그다음에 이제 형용사일 때는 triumphant 이렇게 표현을 하고요. 뒤에 ant를 붙이면 됩니다. 그 다음에 prestigious events.
The Blue Dragon Awards, the Golden Bell Awards, the Oscars, the BAFTAs, they're all prestigious events, meaning they are respected, they are admired, they are important. All eyes turn to them, especially when it comes to movie fans.
That's right. 자, 아주 명망이 있는 행사다. 누구나 다 아는 그런 유명한 행사다. 발음은 2가지가 가능하고요. prestigious or prestigious. 다 됩니다.
Which one is your natural pronunciation?
I think I go with prestigious.
Yeah, I think generally in the UK, prestigious is the more common pronunciation.
But I do hear prestigious a lot because I'm surrounded by American English speakers. So yeah, prestigious is the North American way of saying it. 자, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. Independent film Anora has triumphed at this year's Oscars winning 5 awards, including Best Picture and Best Actress for lead star Mikey Madison, while Blackpink's Lisa made history as the first K-pop artist to perform at the prestigious event. Let's move on to the next headline.
The market for jobs in the AI sector has surged in the last 2 years, with job postings in AI fields spiking 68% in the US since the launch of ChatGPT, according to a recent analysis from the University of Maryland and job tracking firm LinkUp.
미국 메릴랜드 대학과 일자리 추적회사 링크업이 공동 조사한 결과에 따르면 챗GPT가 세상에 공개된 이후 지난 2년 사이에 미국에서 AI 분야 채용 공고가 68% 증가하는 등 AI 분야 채용 시장이 급성장한 것으로 나타났습니다.
So at first sight, this may seem to be very good news for those wanting to work with computers and AI, because they're seeing, jobs requiring AI skills growing more than 3 times as fast as all jobs. That said, if it's not AI related and it's still IT, those jobs are down 27% since 2022. So we're talking about a third of those jobs has gone. And we've also seen these tech giants who are embracing AI slashing their workforce. So there may be more AI jobs, but a lot of other jobs are going. So it's good news and bad news. But certainly this year, for the time being at least, AI-specific jobs are very, very popular. They want, for example, machine learning engineers or product managers for generative AI. The only issue is you wonder that once they've done their job, they may be out of a job because AI can do it for themselves.
그래요. 근데 올 1월 같은 경우는 그 링크드인에 따르면은 AI 엔지니어 그리고 AI 컨설턴트라는 이런 직업군이 굉장히 많이 늘어서 확실히 예전에 비해서 AI 관련된 일자리가 많이 는 것을 볼 수 있습니다. 자, job posting이라는 단어를 한번 볼까요?
Yes, well, I'm sure many people will be familiar with posting on the internet, making a post. That's when we put something on the internet. In the old days, we used to post something on a board in a community center or a library or a shop. So a job posting is when someone puts up information about a job offer, about a place in the workforce that people can apply for. In the old days, it was physical, literal job postings on a board. You would go to the job center or elsewhere and see what jobs are on offer. These days, it's online job postings.
네, job posting이 명사예요. 그래서 채용 공고가 되겠습니다. job tracking은 뭐예요?
Well, if you track something, you're searching for it, looking for it, or monitoring, observing it. So a job tracker or a job tracking company is a company that monitors what's happening in the job market. How many people are being employed in this sector, how many people are being fired in that sector, and so on and so forth.
네, 그래요. job tracking에서 이 track 한다라는 것은 추적한다라는 의미가 있어요. 그래서 그 회사 이름이 아까 뭐였죠? 링크업.
네.
이 링크업이 어떤 회사인지 이제 많이들 모를 수 있기 때문에 그 부연 설명으로 job tracking 회사다라고 얘기를 했습니다. 즉 일자리 추적 회사 이런 거를 분석하는 회사라고 보면 되겠습니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. The market for jobs in the AI sector has surged in the last 2 years, with job postings in AI fields spiking 68% in the US since the launch of ChatGPT, according to a recent analysis from the University of Maryland and job tracking firm LinkUp. Let's move on to the final headline.
A private spacecraft has landed on the moon, becoming the second commercial vehicle to reach the lunar surface in a mission that marks the latest collaboration between NASA and private companies.
자, 민간 기업이 만든 우주선이 역사상 2번째로 달 표면 착륙에 성공했습니다. 이번 임무는 미국 항공우주국 나사와 민간 기업이 협력한 가장 최근 사례입니다.
I mean, there's some great names in this story.
Yeah?
For one, they were aiming to explore the Sea of Crises on the moon. It's a huge crater that you can see from Earth.
Right.
The name of the vessel was Blue Ghost, and it was launched with NASA and Firefly Aerospace. So some very evocative names there.
It's not a sci-fi movie.
No, it's not, but it feels like sci-fi because there's going to be another lunar landing, supposedly, in the next few days. Intuitive Machines, another company, is hoping to land its Athena spacecraft. They were actually the first ones to achieve a commercial lunar landing on the 22nd of February last year. That went a little awry because the spacecraft landed on the slope of a crater and then sort of fell over and broke some landing gear. However, Blue Ghost has been doing well. It's been orbiting the moon for the last 2 weeks before it landed. Now it's safely there. We'll see whether Athena lands as well, but certainly this is one giant step for commercial enterprise when it comes to landing on the moon.
Absolutely. What's a commercial vehicle, Paul?
Well, when we talk about commercial, we're talking about private enterprise, not government-funded, not military. NASA is not a commercial company. NASA is funded by government funds. So here, a commercial vehicle is one paid for, created by, run by a private company.
네, 상업용 우주선, commercial vehicle. vehicle이 여기서는 이제 컨텍스트상 space vehicle이니까 그냥 우주선이라고 바로 해석을 하면 될 것 같고 상업용이다라는 말이 붙었는데요. 그러니까 민간 그런 우주선이다 이렇게 보면 되겠죠.
Yeah. So the blue 761 bus to my home is not a commercial vehicle. It's a public transportation. The car that Sue drives is a commercial vehicle. It was bought from a private company.
I see. Okay. And what about collaboration?
Or as we say sometimes in Korean, collab. It means
콜라보라고도 하고.
collabo, working together. Collaboration is when people work together. It could be a company and another company. It could be Sue and I collaborating on the show today, giving our own input and working together. Or it could be two pop artists making a collab on a single.
그래요. 근데 영어에서는 collabo라고 하진 않아요.
We say collab sometimes, but collaboration is the standard.
That's right. 그래서 우리도 뭐 잘 알고 있는 단어죠. 외래어로 많이 쓰니까 공동 작업, collaboration. 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. A private spacecraft has landed on the moon, becoming the second commercial vehicle to reach the lunar surface in a mission that marks the latest collaboration between NASA and private companies. All right, well, that's it for the headlines.
Korea has launched NextTrade, its first alternative stock trading system, extending trading hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and offering lower fees, thereby ending the Korea Exchange's 7-decade monopoly.
국내 최초 대체 거래소 넥스트레이드가 본격 출범했습니다. 이로써 국내 주식시장의 거래 시간이 오전 8시에서 오후 8시까지로 늘어나고 더 낮은 수수료 선택지가 가능해지면서 한국거래소의 70년 독점 체제가 막을 내리게 됐습니다.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Yeah. So, longer trading hours and lower fees. And as we mentioned, it's bringing an end to the 7-decade-old monopoly of the KRX or the Korea Exchange. So this is called NXT or NextTrade, and it's the country's secondary stock trading platform, and it's going to run from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and it's in comparison to the KRX, which operates from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And NXT also offers transaction fees that are about 20 to 40% lower than those of the KRX, and a total of 28 brokerage houses have joined NXT, with 4 more set to join later. And the secondary platform started with only 10 firms being traded, but the number will rise to 800 within a month.
네, 어제가 개장 첫날이었어요. 그래서 어제는 오전 10시부터 서비스가 제공이 됐는데 오늘 이제 두 번째 날을 맞이하면서 본격적으로 8시부터 8시까지 이렇게 운영이 됩니다. This is an alternative stock trading system.
Yeah. So I remember when I was in elementary, middle, high school, we would go to lunch. And when we go to the cafeteria, there would be the main lunch line, and then there would be an alternative lunch line. So it's something that you can have instead. So alternative means one or more things that are available as another possibility.
What could you get if you were in the alternative lunch line?
There would be like an alternative lunch line, and we also had like a la carte. So a la carte would be you could get like those cup noodles and like maybe just milk. An alternative would be like vegan options. So different options, right?
그렇군요. 학교에서 급식을 받는 것도 이제 줄을 내가 선택해서 뭐 비건 줄에 가서 설 수도 있고 아니면은 뭐 나는 오늘은 식사보다는 그냥 간식을 먹고 싶다. 그러면은 또 그런 줄에 가서 설 수 있었는데 이런 이제 대체 가능한 줄, 뭐 메인 밀이 아닌 좀 다른 음식을 먹는 줄을 alternative lunch line이라고 했었군요. 네, alternative가 이렇게 대안이 되는, 대체가 가능한 이라는 의미가 있습니다. So, Nexttrade is an alternative to the Korea Stock Exchange. Or this Korea Exchange. Let's have a look at the word monopoly.
Monopoly. So you might have heard about the game, but monopoly is basically when a company has like almost all the rights. So the exclusive possession or control of some sort of supply of or trade in a commodity or some sort of service. So in this case, the Korea Exchange had almost the complete control of Korea's stock exchange.
I think we'll know this word from the board game.
Yeah.
모노폴리라는 보드 게임이 있잖아요. 독점이라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 모노라는 게 사실은 하나라는 의미가 있거든요. If you go through something that's very monotonous, then it's just the same thing over and over again.
Right.
And monopoly is one company pretty much taking over the whole industry. In this case, we're talking about KRX. 자, 한국 거래소가 그동안에 한 70년 가까이 독점해온 그런 시장에서 이제 Nexttrade가 본격 출범했다는 소식이 되겠습니다. 독점, monopoly. 참고로 16일까지는 한 10개 정도의 종목만 거래가 가능하다고 하니까요. 점차적으로 이게 늘려질 것 같습니다. 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Korea has launched Nexttrade, its first alternative stock trading system, extending trading hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and offering lower fees, thereby ending the Korea Exchange's 7-decade monopoly. Let's move on to the next headline.
The nation's industrial output, retail sales, and facility investment fell from a month earlier in January, according to Statistics Korea, raising concerns about a prolonged economic slowdown.
올해 1월 우리나라 생산과 소비 투자 지표가 전월 대비 일제히 하락하면서 경기 부진 장기화에 대한 우려가 커지고 있습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, this is concerning news. So they say that industrial production went down 2.7% last month. This is reversing a brief gain that they saw in December that followed 3 consecutive months of decline. And of course, this is according to data that was compiled by Statistics Korea. And they say that retail sales, which is a gauge of private spending, went down 0.6% from a month earlier in January. Facility investments saw a sharp decline in that month, falling 14.2% from the previous month. And this marks the first time since October that all 3 indicators have fallen simultaneously.
And it's odd because we had the 설 명절, which is normally when people spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
But despite that, we are seeing spending going down and all of the other things that you mentioned there.
Yeah.
One of the reasons could be the uncertainty about US tariffs.
Right.
And that was, of course, announced early on when President Trump was elected. And so I guess the insecurity or the uncertainty about imposing those tariffs around the world that contributed.
So, I mean, the government is definitely keeping that in mind. So they're saying that in line with, they did have some countermeasures in plan for the first quarter. So in line with that, the government did mention that it will push forward with some key policy initiatives in a quicker pace and continue to devise additional support measures to try to lift up the economy so that perhaps we don't see this prolonged economic slowdown.
그렇죠. 이제 지속되지 않기를 바라고 있는데 지금 얘기하는 3가지 지표가 산업 생산, 또 소비, 그리고 투자 지표입니다. 전부 다 1월 달에 내려갔다. 하락했다는 소식이고요. 이게 이제 언제에 비해서 내려갔느냐. 이게 너무 중요하죠. With any business news, we have to know what we're comparing it to.
Right.
이 경우에는 from a month earlier.
Right. So we see this in the news a lot, especially as you mentioned, when we are comparing some sort of data from another period in time. So we're looking at 2 different time periods and we're comparing the same sort of figures from that period and now. So when we say from a month earlier, we're looking at the same figures for some sort of stat from now and the same period from that month earlier.
그래요. 그래서 그 전달에 비해라는 뜻으로 from a month earlier라고 표현을 할 수 있죠. You could also say compared to a month earlier.
Yeah.
자, 그다음으로 economic slowdown.
Right, economic slowdown. So this is, I guess, a period when economic growth kind of slows. It slows down.
Yeah.
So that impacts the ability of consumers to buy goods and services.
여기서 말하는 게 경기 후퇴, 경기 부진 이런 겁니다. 불경기죠. Economic slowdown. I guess the opposite might be an economic boom when things are going up. All right, let me read this one more time. The nation's industrial output, retail sales, and facility investment fell from a month earlier in January, according to Statistics Korea, raising concerns about a prolonged economic slowdown.
China and Canada have unveiled retaliatory measures against the U.S. after the Trump administration imposed sweeping tariffs, despite warnings such action could spark an escalating trade war.
미국 트럼프 행정부가 무역 전쟁을 촉발할 수 있다는 경고에도 불구하고 전면적 관세 부과 방침을 강행하자 중국과 캐나다가 미국에 대한 보복 관세 조치를 발표했습니다.
Okay, so these U.S. tariffs have come into force against 25% of goods from Canada and Mexico, which are the U.S.'s two biggest trading partners, and 20% tariffs against China. That's doubling the levy on China from last month, and these duties stand to affect over $918 billion worth of U.S. imports from Canada and Mexico. So China said that it would impose fresh tariffs on a range of agricultural imports from the U.S. next week. Its finance ministry said additional 15% tariffs would be imposed on chicken, wheat, corn, and cotton, with further 10% tariffs on sorghum, soybeans, pork, beef, aquatic products, fruit, vegetables, and dairy products as well. So this is from China's side. And the Canadian Prime Minister said that Ottawa would respond with immediate 25% tariffs on $20.7 billion worth of U.S. imports. So it's like a tit for tat, that type of thing here. So U.S. did this. China said, okay, you did that. We're going to do this. Canada said, okay, you did that. We're going to do this. So Trump and his allies are claiming that higher tariffs on U.S. imports from across the world is going to make America great again by enabling it to obtain political and economic concessions from allies and rivals on the global stage. But of course, businesses both inside the U.S. and worldwide have warned of widespread disruption if the Trump administration pushes ahead with this strategy.
Well, you mentioned tit for tat.
Yeah.
That's another way of saying retaliation.
Yes.
Let's look at this expression here, retaliatory measures.
Yes. So you mentioned retaliation, retaliatory measures. So if it's basically if someone does something to you, you're taking action in response to that action, which is usually an unfriendly action by another party.
And you're pretty much doing the same back.
Exactly. It's like an eye for an eye type of thing.
Exactly. 보복 조치라는 뜻입니다. Retaliatory measure. 그래서 아까 얘기했던 tit for tat라는 것도 역시 보복이라는 뜻이 있습니다. What about to spark something?
Right. So it's been used as a verb here, and it means to start, to begin or provide the stimulus for a dramatic event or process.
자, spark라는 동사가요. 불꽃을 일으키는 것처럼 무언가를 유발한다, 촉발시킨다 이런 의미가 있습니다. 그래서 spark a trade war, 그러면 무역 전쟁을 촉발시킨다. spark a debate, 그러면은 토론을 시작하게끔 한다 이런 의미가 되겠죠.
Yep.
Let me read the headline again. China and Canada have unveiled retaliatory measures against the US after the Trump administration imposed sweeping tariffs, despite warnings such action could spark an escalating trade war. Here's our next headline.
A new study covering over 200 countries predicts that by 2050, more than half of all adults and a third of children, teenagers, and young adults worldwide will be overweight or obese.
200여 개 나라를 대상으로 실시한 연구 결과 2050년까지 성인의 절반 이상 그리고 아동 및 청소년의 3분의 1이 과체중 또는 비만이 될 것으로 예측됐습니다. Oh dear.
Yeah, this is pretty concerning health news. So this is according to a new global study, which was published in The Lancet. And it says that more than half of all adults and a third of children, teens and young adults could be overweight or obese by the year 2050. And experts are saying that if governments don't take urgent action now, there's not going to be enough time to prevent what they describe as a profound tragedy. So right now, nearly 1 in 2 adults worldwide is already overweight or obese. That's about 1 billion men and 1.1 billion women. And that number has doubled since 1990. And if nothing changes, they're saying that they could see over 60% of women and nearly 60% of men falling into those categories within the next 25 years. And they talked about some of the countries that are expected to see the biggest numbers of these overweight or obese patients. And they say that China and India and the US in particular. And in terms of growth in these numbers, sub-Saharan Africa could see its rates skyrocket, with Nigeria on track to triple its number of overweight or obese adults by 2050.
네. 자, 그래서 obese가 비만이죠. overweight는 과체중이고요. obese spelling은 O-B-E-S-E. And we're talking about predicting this by 2050.
Yeah.
And the study covers
Right.
200 countries. Let's look at those two expressions.
Right. So the study covers over 200 countries. So that means that the study has looked at 200 different countries and gathers statistics from 200 different countries. So when a study covers something, it means that it deals with, it could be a subject, or in this case, it dealt with these 200 different countries and the people living in these countries by describing or analyzing the different aspects there. Or when we talk about covering, it could also be investigating, reporting on, or publishing on some sort of, I guess it could be an event or statistics or something related to that.
네. 여기서는 연구 얘기죠. Study. Covering over 200 countries. 그래서 200개국을 대상으로 한 연구, 그것을 다루는 연구 이런 뜻이고요. 뉴스에도 cover라는 동사를 정말 많이 쓰는데 우리 news coverage는 명사 형태고요. 뉴스를 커버한다라는 것은 그 뉴스 아이템을 다룬다 이런 의미가 되겠습니다. 어떤 소재거리를 가지고 보도할 때 역시 다 cover something. We're going to cover this story today. 이런 식으로 얘기하고요. What about predicting?
Predicting, it means, we're going to, you're estimating what's going to happen, or you're kind of guessing what's going to happen in the future, or what will be, I guess, a consequence of something in the future.
그래요. 자, predict는 예측하다라는 의미가 있죠. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. A new study covering over 200 countries predicts that by 2050, more than half of all adults and a third of children, teenagers, and young adults worldwide will be overweight or obese. Now let's move on to the final headline.
A series of brazen train robberies across the U.S. have led to the theft of millions of dollars worth of merchandise from a well-known athletic apparel and footwear brand.
자, 미국 곳곳에서 대담한 열차 강도 사건이 연달아 발생해 유명 스포츠웨어 및 신발 브랜드의 판매 상품 수백만 달러어치가 도난당하는 일이 발생했습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, I think we've been hearing a lot about some really weird robberies, because when we hear about robberies, it's usually like diamonds or gold or something that's worth a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
But I think last week we talked about an egg heist. So people were stealing eggs.
Right. There was another story in South America where they were stealing dietary pills.
Yes.
People wanted to lose weight and they were stealing that from drugstores.
And this week they're stealing shoes. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
So authorities are saying that these train burglaries have increased over the past 2 years, and they're specifically targeting the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway trains.
Okay.
And this is according to the Times. They reported that there have been at least 10 robberies since last March, and during that time, these thieves have stolen approximately $2 million worth of merchandise. And these heists are believed to be connected to an international crime syndicate that is based in the Mexican state of Sinaloa. And in a January heist, these thieves disabled one of these train brakes, forcing an emergency stop, then stole thousands of unreleased sneakers. And unaware of hidden trackers, they were later caught with hundreds of stolen cases in 2 vehicles. And these shoes, they weren't set to be released to the public until March 14th, and they are quite pricey because they were expected to retail for over $200 per pair.
그렇군요. 열차가 뭐 당연히 달리고 있을 때 이렇게 훔친 건 아니고 차선을 바꾸기 위해서 뭐 속도를 늦춘다든지 이럴 때가 있잖아요. 그때 이제 강도 뭐 10명 이상이 열차에 들어가 가지고 이제 많은 운동화를 훔친 겁니다. 여러분들 다 잘 아는 어떤 브랜드인데 그래서 이게 우리 돈으로 치면은 수십억 원어치의 운동화였대요. 네, 상당히 많은 건데 참 뭐라 그럴까요? 대담하고 뻔뻔하고 그렇죠? 영어로는 brazen.
They're brazen, right? You describe someone as brazen when they are bold and shameless.
그렇죠. B-R-A-Z-E-N 굉장히 뻔뻔하다. 아니면 뭐 대담하다. 이렇게 보면 되겠고요. How about merchandise?
Merchandise is stuff, basically. So it's goods that are to be bought and sold.
그렇죠. 여기서 이제 물품을 얘기해요. 운동화겠죠, 이 경우에는. 그러니까 어떤 물품이든 판매하는 그런 물품을 merchandise라고 합니다. 네, 다행히 이게 고가의 운동화들이다 보니까 각각 어떤 추적기, 네, 트래커, 추적기가 다 달려 있었대요. 그래서 나중에 11명이 구속이 되긴 했는데 다 무죄를 주장했답니다. 저 아니에요.
After this?
이 운동화도 다 찾고 했는데 뭐 추적해가지고 찾았는데도 그래서 이제 재판을 기다리고 있는 상황이라고 합니다.
Well, you are innocent until proven guilty. So.
I suppose that is true. 네, 입증이 될 때까지는 뭐 무고하다고 봐야 되는 거긴 하죠. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. A series of brazen train robberies across the US have led to the theft of millions of dollars worth of merchandise from a well-known athletic apparel and footwear brand. Well, that's it for the headlines with Karen.
Korea's economy grew by 2% last year, as was widely expected, while per capita gross national income rose by just over 1% to roughly $36,600.
지난해 한국 경제는 기존 예상대로 전년 대비 2% 성장했으며 1인당 국민 총소득은 1% 남짓 늘어난 36,600달러대를 기록했습니다. Tell us more.
Well, the country's real gross domestic product, known as GDP, this is a key measure of economic growth, and we're going to talk about two different measurements here.
Yeah.
That increased by 2% last year, which was in line with the central bank's estimate from January. And this also represented a 1.4% increase from 2023. So that's GDP. Now, GDP is concerned with the value of all goods and services that are produced within a country.
Yeah.
Now we look at per capita gross national income. And anytime you hear per capita, it means per person. Now, gross national income, this is the total income earned by citizens and residents, and it also includes money that's received from sources outside of the country and then sent back to your country. Now, as it mentions in the headline, the per capita gross national income, or GNI, Korea's per capita GNI, actually increased by 1.2% from a year earlier. And the Bank of Korea mentioned that it now exceeds those of Japan and Taiwan. And if you look at countries with a population of 50 million or larger, South Korea now ranks 6th. Behind the US, Germany, Britain, France, and Italy.
그렇군요. 지금 두 가지 지표를 얘기해 주셨는데 일단 GDP, Gross Domestic Product는 국내 총생산이 되겠고 GNI, gross national income은 국민 총소득이 되겠습니다. 그리고 per capita라는 표현이 들어가면은 1인당이라는 뜻인데요. 경제 소식, 그런 비즈니스 관련된 얘기를 할 때는 per person이라고 하지 않고 per capita라고 반드시 얘기를 합니다. 우리가 식당에 갈 때는 1인당 뭘 드시겠어요? 그럴 때는 이제 per person 하겠지만 이런 이제 데이터, 총소득 이런 얘기를 할 때는 per capita. All right, so let's have a look at the expression as was expected or as was widely expected.
So that means what experts thought would happen.
Yeah.
If you say something happened as expected, you thought it was going to happen.
네, 이렇게 될 줄 알았다. 일상 대화 속에서는 그런 의미겠지만 이렇게 예상이 됐었다. 전문가들의 예상과 같다라는 의미가 되겠죠. And widely means, many people.
Many people thought that.
That's right. What about roughly something?
Roughly, approximately, around. So usually think about how long it takes you maybe to get to work. Nobody really can get to work in exactly 1 hour or exactly 30 minutes. So you would say, it takes me roughly 30 minutes to get to work. So when you say roughly, another expression people use is give or take. So let's say it takes you roughly 30 minutes to get to work. Maybe sometimes you can get there in 26 minutes, 27 minutes. Sometimes it might take you 35 minutes.
Sure.
So you could say, it takes me 30 minutes to get here, give or take. Give or take 30 minutes.
Give or take 이 표현도 많이 쓰는데요. 대충 이 정도야 라는 뜻이죠. 그래서 roughly 30 minutes, roughly 얼마 하고 나서 give or take 붙여도 되고요. 둘 중에 하나만 쓰셔도 됩니다. 자, 여기서는 roughly $36,600라고 했어요. So that's not the exact figure. It was actually $36,624.
Right.
But we don't want to go into the specifics.
Exactly.
Especially when
And you could have even just said roughly 36,000
That's
as well
right.
if you wanted to.
맞습니다. 네. 이제 대략적인 숫자이기 때문에 반올림을 해서 36,000달러 정도 이렇게 했었어도 되는데요. 36,600달러 정도다라고 지금 표현을 하고 있는 거죠. 자, 그러면은 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Korea's economy grew by 2% last year, as was widely expected, while per capita gross national income rose by just over 1% to roughly $36,600. Okay, let's move on to the second headline.
Recent data shows that 8 out of every 100 homes in the country are abandoned amid a declining population, with the number of unoccupied homes reaching more than 1.5 million as of the end of 2023.
인구 감소세가 지속되는 가운데 2023년 말 기준으로 전국의 빈집 수가 150만 채를 넘어섰습니다. 이는 국내 100가구 중 8가구가 빈집이라는 뜻으로 풀이됩니다. So we're talking about homes that were previously occupied but are no longer occupied.
No.
It's different to the new homes that are not occupied.
Oh, that's
it's not
right.
that. Yeah.
That's right. So people just don't live there anymore. They're vacant.
They are.
They still are there, but whoever owned it, they left and
That's right.
They don't care for it. Usually when we talk about something like a home that's abandoned, it's usually in kind of disrepair. It doesn't look nice.
Right. And a lot of the reasons that we're looking at in this case involve people wanting to go to the city or more populated areas. And so the homes that are abandoned, they're either in rural areas or suburban areas.
Right, yeah. Normally it sounds like as though, so to give a few stats here, the number actually came to 1.53 million. So we could say, again, we could say roughly 1.5 million, but 1.3 million to be exact. This was at the end of 2023. And again, this is largely due to what they call urban migration trends, which means people want to move to cities, usually for work, as well as the aging population. That definitely plays a role here. There was actually a 5.7 increase from 2022, and from 2025, a 43% increase. So a huge increase from 10 years ago. Now, by region, Gyeonggi Province accounted for the largest share of abandoned homes. There's about 18.5% of the abandoned homes are in Gyeonggi Province. South Gyeongsang is about 8.7 and North Gyeongsang about 8.5.
그렇군요. 크게는 두 가지 이유로 이렇게 빈 집들이 많이 늘어나고 있는 건데 하나는 도심지로 사람들이 이주를 하는 urban migration trend. 네, 그런 트렌드가 있다는 이유. 또 하나는 aging population, 노령화 때문에 이제 집들이 점점 이제 사람이 없고 집만 남아있는 그런 경우다. 이런 얘기고요. 그다음 지역별로는 경기도에서 이런 빈집들이 가장 많았고 또 그다음에는 경상남도, 경상북도 순이었군요. All right, so when we say something's abandoned, and we've said this a couple of times, what does that mean?
So a building, or a vehicle, for example, as we mentioned, people just leave it. And usually forever, they don't care for it. And it falls into a state of disrepair. It doesn't look very good. Now, also, people or animals can also be abandoned. They can just be left behind somewhere without no one cares for them. And they're kind of left to fend for themselves.
맞아요. abandoned라는 건 원래 버려졌다는 의미가 있어요. 그래서 유기견이나 유기묘도 영어로는 abandoned dogs or abandoned cats 이렇게 얘기할 수 있고요. or just abandoned pets,
exactly.
abandoned animals. 자, 그것도 뭐 사람도 if a person is abandoned, someone's kind of sort of left them,
right?
For whatever reason.
Usually, it'd be used for children, but you could all, and then that's very, very dangerous. But you could also use it for people too, right? Like maybe someone just leaves their partner and just abandons them and just takes off out of nowhere.
그래요.
It would probably be surprising, shocking, and
그렇죠.
I would imagine they wouldn't take any measures to protect that person, leave them with any money or whatever.
네, 이렇게 사람도 버려질 수가 있기 때문에 뭐 그러면 안 되지만 그런 상황이 발생했을 때는 영어로 역시 abandoned person 이렇게 표현을 하면 되겠고요. 지금은 집 얘기예요. 그래서 abandoned homes. Another expression that was used was unoccupied homes or vacant homes. V-A-C-A-N-T. 이제 unoccupied 그러면 아무도 살지 않는다. vacant는 비어있다. 이런 의미인데요. 다 비슷한 의미로 여기선 쓰였습니다.
Similar, but when you hear abandoned, you can imagine, it must look terrible and, need a lot of repair and no one's coming back for it.
맞아요. 약간 뭐 폐가의 느낌까지도 있을 수 있다. 그런 얘기를 지금 해주시는 건데 뭐 케이스 바이 케이스일 것 같긴 해요. 자, 그 다음에 declining population.
Anytime you hear declining, it means decreasing.
Yeah.
So this just means the population is going down. And anything, if we say, prices are declining, falling down.
그렇죠. 숫자와 관련해서 declining이 나오면은 감소하는 이라는 뜻이고요. population은 인구. 그러니까 인구 감소. 그걸 declining population이라고 하죠. Of course, you can use the word decline to say I refuse or I will not accept.
A lot of times people will say, I have to politely decline.
Yeah, 맞아요. 이렇게 거절의 의미로 쓸 때도 있어요. 그때는 이제 뭐 정중하게 거절한다. 그런 의미로 쓰기도 합니다.
I would say that's usually used for official offers.
Yes. Yeah.
Perhaps, when people talk about business English, if maybe you're talking with a potential client, they've made an offer to you. Your answer is no.
Right.
But instead of saying, no, we don't want that, we'd say, unfortunately, we have to decline your offer.
I think the more formal the situation, the longer the sentences get.
I would agree.
You don't want to be too blunt.
Right.
You don't just want to go, no. You have to, I will have to decline.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm afraid to say that we're going to have to decline.
Exactly. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Recent data shows that 8 out of every 100 homes in the country are abandoned amid a declining population, with the number of unoccupied homes reaching more than 1.5 million as of the end of 2023.
The U.S. bank Citigroup mistakenly credited a client's account with $81 trillion due to a fat finger error, which went unnoticed by 2 employees before a third caught and corrected it 90 minutes later, with no funds leaving the bank.
미국 시티은행이 입력 오류로 인해 고객의 계좌에 81조 달러, 우리 돈으로 약 11경 8천조 원 잘못 입금하는 일이 벌어졌습니다. 이 실수는 직원 2명을 거칠 때까지도 드러나지 않다가 세 번째 직원이 90분 만에 이를 발견해 바로잡으면서 실제 송금은 이루어지지 않았습니다. Oh my goodness.
So it's kind of a shocking headline,
Yeah.
but this transaction would have never really, it's impossible that this would have actually ever gone through, that this amount of money would have left the bank. Now, to put this amount of money in context,
yes.
$81 trillion. So in Korean won, that is 117 quadrillion won. I don't know if you have that number.
I said it earlier on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have not learned numbers that big.
It's kyung. We never use this word
right.
ever because no one has that kind of
right.
money.
But your economy is that size.
Sure.
So U.S. GDP, we talked about GDP earlier, right? The goods and services produced within a country. The U.S. is the largest economy in the world.
Yep.
And U.S. GDP is $27 trillion. So to put that in context, 81 trillion. Now, the whole U.S. stock market at the end of last year was valued at $62 trillion.
So this is even bigger than that.
Right. Elon Musk, he's the richest man in the world.
Yep.
And he's only got $343 billion. So to think that 81 trillion would ever be sent,
it wouldn't happen.
It would not have happened. However, it does show human error. Now, I think the reason that this story got a lot of press was because it's not the first time or the second time that Citigroup has had this type of fat finger error.
Well, let's talk about that.
Let's do that first.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just kind of a phrase that means human error when when they press the wrong key on a keyboard, usually because they have really big fingers. On a keyboard, I would say that the chances of that are a bit less, but I know a lot of people that have that problem on smartphones.
Phones. Yeah. 예전에도 이제 핸드폰 쓰는데 이 자판이 너무 작아가지고 계속 오타가 생기네 하신 적 있으신가요? 그런 게 바로 fat finger error예요. 내 손가락이 너무 뚱뚱해서 입력 오류가 생겼다. 그런 데서 나온 표현인데요. 그냥 굳어진 표현이거든요. fat finger error. 실제로 여기서도 입력 오류로 인해서 미국의 국내 총생산보다도 더 많은 액수인 이 $81 trillion, 11경원이 이제 잘못 입력이 된 거예요. 어떤 사람의 계좌에. But of course, no money left the bank.
No
and as you
money
said,
left.
it would have been very difficult for the bank to...
The system would have broke down because of that. But
그렇죠.
this particular bank has had a lot of problems with this. So in 2020, they accidentally sent $900 million to the creditors of a famous cosmetic company. What they meant to do was just send an interest payment of $7.8 million.
Okay.
So because of this, it took 2 years of legal battles for the bank to get most of this money back. And this led to the departure of their CEO because, he took the blame for this. And then this was just in 2022, this Citigroup was fined £61 million in the UK because one of their bankers was selling stocks, which is normal. He meant to sell $58 million worth, but he accidentally, because of a fat finger error, sold $1.4 billion worth of stocks, and this caused a flash crash in European stock markets. When someone tries to do a sale like that, it can lead to panic and contagion, so they will just close the markets temporarily. They'll halt trading.
I think they need to get a bigger keyboard at Citigroup.
Yeah, or find people with skinnier fingers. I don't know what's the criteria for hiring people there. Do you have to have hands like Andre the Giant?
그러니까 시티그룹에서 이런 일이 몇 번 더 있었다라고 하니까요. 왜 이렇게 입력 오류가 생기는지 자판을 좀 더 큰 걸 쓰셔야 되는 게 아닌가. 지금 약간 농담조로 얘기를 우리가 주고 받았습니다만 이전에도 몇 번 이랬네요. 공을 몇 개 더 실수로 친다든지 이런 거죠. 자. 그래서 fat finger error 받고, what about to go unnoticed?
If you notice something, you see it. So if something goes unnoticed, it means people didn't see it.
그래요. Something went unnoticed. 그러면은 눈에 띄지 않고 넘어갔다. 이런 뜻이에요. So the error at this bank, it went unnoticed for about 90 minutes. Which is a pretty long time. Yeah. It's an hour and a half.
Right, and you can imagine if it was, say, 81 billion, for example, that probably would have gone through if no one noticed it.
Yeah, exactly. But luckily, no money was taken out.
No.
Okay. 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. The US bank Citigroup mistakenly credited a client's account with $81 trillion due to a fat finger error, which went unnoticed by 2 employees before a third caught and corrected it 90 minutes later. with no funds leaving the bank. Let's move on.
New research suggests that lycopene found in tomatoes and other red fruits may help reduce cancer risk, with higher blood lycopene levels linked to a 35% lower risk of lung cancer mortality.
토마토를 비롯한 붉은색 과일에 들어있는 라이코펜 성분이 암 발병 위험을 낮출 수 있다는 연구 결과가 나왔습니다. 이에 따르면 혈중 라이코펜 농도가 높을 경우 폐암 사망률이 35% 낮아지는 것으로 나타났습니다.
Parents always said, eat your green vegetables, eat your greens. Now this says, eat your reds. Yeah, exactly. So lycopene, it's the most powerful antioxidant that's measured in food. This cleans the blood, right? An antioxidant. And it's the pigment that gives many fruits and vegetables their red color. Pigment, like people have pigment in their skin, right? So darker people have more pigment, lighter people, I don't have very much pigment at all. That's what that word means. Now, we're not just talking about tomatoes here. Tomatoes have a lot, but there are a lot of other fruits do too. So watermelon, guava, grapefruit, I love grapefruit, papaya, red bell peppers, mango, which is probably my favorite, and one that's really popular in Korea, persimmon, gam, has a lot of lycopene as well.
그렇군요. So these are all red fruits.
These are all red fruits, right. So the study suggests that higher consumption, if you eat more fruits with lycopene, then it's associated with a 5 to 11% reduction in overall cancer risk, which is huge.
Yeah.
And I have found this one really interesting. That evidence suggests from this study that processed tomato products, so cooked or pureed tomatoes, may offer even a greater bioavailability of lycopene than raw tomatoes.
They do say cooked tomatoes are healthier for you.
Yeah, so make tomato sauces.
Yeah. 자, link to라는 표현 좀 보겠습니다.
Linked to, there's a connection.
Yeah.
And I've just been reading that actually Son Heung-min, he's been linked to Bayern Munich, a transfer to Bayern Munich, and maybe reunite with Harry Kane in Germany. It's
okay.
Yeah, Tottenham Hotspur have said, we're not sure, but there's rumors.
He did spend quite a bit of time in Germany before going
exactly.
to England.
It's not the first time he's been linked to the big club there. So there's the old expression, where there's smoke, there's fire. We'll see what happens.
그래요. 뭔가 연관돼 있다. Linked to something. 자, 그다음에 mortality.
Death. Simply
네.
death.
사망. 또 사망률이라는 뜻입니다. mortality. Let me read this one more time. New research suggests that lycopene found in tomatoes and other red fruits may help reduce cancer risk, with higher blood lycopene levels linked to a 35% lower risk of lung cancer mortality. Now let's move on to the final headline.
2 workers have been rescued after getting stranded on scaffolding that was hanging off a high-rise building's 78th floor in New York City.
미국 뉴욕의 한 고층 건물에서 2명의 외벽 청소부가 이동식 비계에 매달린 채 78층 높이에 고립됐다가 구조되는 일이 발생했습니다.
I can imagine these guys were considering their own mortality while they were dangling.
Well, at the very least, it would have been on their minds.
Yes.
But tell us what happened.
Well, these guys, they were window cleaners, apparently, and they were washing the windows, so they were strapped to the scaffolding. Maybe it's easier to talk about. Everyone has seen scaffolding. If you go past any construction site, it's those temporary structures that construction workers put up. It's, metal pipes and bars and then wooden planks so they can stand on it and do their work, whether it's construction, repair, or cleaning buildings. Now they were harnessed to the scaffolding, but the scaffolding wasn't attached properly. And then it was swinging and dangling. It was the video is online.
Yeah.
You can see the scaffolding hitting the building, and it was actually glass was falling down onto the street in Manhattan.
Just looking at the pictures is making me dizzy.
I could not watch it for very long either. You couldn't pay me enough to do that job.
그래요. 이 scaffolding이라는 게 이 철제로 만들어진 그 공사장의 뭐 발판 같은 거죠. 비계라고 우리가 하잖아요. 그런 걸 scaffolding이라고 합니다. 그 자체가 좀 문제가 있었나 봐요. 그래서 원래는 제대로 잘 잡아줘야 되는데 청소하시는 분들을. 근데 그게 문제가 생겨서 결국은 이제 매달리는 상태가 된 거죠. How long were they sort of dangling?
I don't know
and
how
hanging
long they
on?
were there for, but they were rescued.
Okay, good.
And
yeah.
the other good news is nobody inside the building or on the sidewalk below were hurt by the falling glass.
Okay, that's good. 자, 그래서 위에서 다행히 몸에 붙어 있는 그 harness 그 안전 벨트 같은 것들은 잘 고정이 되어 있기는 했지만 이 위쪽에 있는 철제 스카폴딩이 계속 움직이는 거예요. 움직이지 말아야 되는데 그래가지고 계속 좀 불안불안한 상황이 이어지다가 구조가 됐습니다. What's the high-rise building?
Skyscraper, really tall building. You can also just say a high-rise. You don't even have to say building. It's implied. Like, I live in many people live in high-rises by the Hangang, for example.
그래요. high-rise는 한 단어인데 가운데 하이픈으로 이어줍니다. high-rise까지만 해도 고층 건물인데 building 붙여도 돼요. 자, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. Two workers have been rescued after getting stranded on scaffolding that was hanging off a high-rise building's 78th floor in New York City. All right, well, that's it for the headlines with Ray